Today I'm going to be talking about the upcoming deadlines. It should be a pretty quick live, but if you have any questions, I'm going to leave the comments on. Alrighty, so I'm going to get started since it's 7:02. So the very first deadline I want to remind everyone of is the March 1st deadline. So I'm great, how are you? So the March 1st deadline is a really, really important deadline. If you're on a payment plan, that's when everything is due, as well as the sponsors, the list of your sponsors. So that can be submitted through the contestant guide using the sponsor form. And all that's needed is the contestant name, the contestant last name, the contestant province, and then the business name and thank you, the business name as well as the amount that they've sponsored you for. So you don't need a lot, you just need that information. If you have more than 10, then just submit a new form. Thanks, you guys. And just submit a new form. So again, March 1st, the deadline is approaching, so please read the emails that I'm going to send you on Friday, and that will go over again the deadlines, but I did send one this morning as well. So March 1st is the first deadline. And that's for anyone on a payment plan as well as sponsor forms. So again, the sponsorship form is through the contestant guide, the password protected section for the 2020 contestants. So it's a really, really important date. It's March 1st. You'll receive a bunch more emails and you should have already received several reminding you of all these things, but I just wanted to come in here and make sure everyone knew the deadlines. I'm just looking at the comments here. So the second deadline I want to remind you of is the March 15th deadline. So that is the deadline that we are going to, that's the deadline for adding self-tape competition, because this is the day we also release the scripts. So that's an important date to mention. It's a deadline for adding self-tape again, and then it's also the day that the scripts are released for self-tape competition. So that's because of that, that's the last day you can add that specific competition. Can't wait either. Thank you. Okay. So again, I want to reiterate that. So March 1st, very important date. March 1st is for anyone on a payment plan, any remaining balances you might have, as well as sponsorship forms. And then March 15th is the last day to add self-tape competition, because it's also the day that the scripts are released. So the sponsor form and the scripts are both in the contestant guide, which is password protected just for CMTC 2020 contestants. So for someone asking here, this is all about CMTC 2020, so this is really meant for our contestants for this year. Do we have to get sponsors? Yep, you don't need to have sponsors, it's just an option that we provide. Thanks, Emma. Yes, Brandon, so our phone number is on our website. It's at the bottom, and then there's a contact us page. And then if you are a registrant, you should already have a bunch of emails from us and you should already have our contact info, but it is all on our website. Okay, so March 1st, important, March 15th is important, and then the next one is April 1st, 2020. This is a big date. So this is when your cover and commercial print photos are due. They're both to be, if you're in either of those or both of those competitions, your photos are to be submitted through the contestant guide yet again on that date. If you try to submit after, we've already sent it to the reps for judging, so it's kind of too late. So do it sooner rather than later, but it definitely has to be submitted to us by April 1st. And this is also the date that the self-tape is due. As well as, again, very important date, April 1st. So cover and commercial print photos are due. Self-tape is due if you're in any three of those competitions. And then singing music and commentary are due, as well as dance music and commentary. So April 1st, very important date, a lot of things due. So just make sure that you're checking in and seeing if you're in cover and commercial print, and seeing if you're in dance, and seeing if you're in singing, and just making sure you're getting all these things submitted to us. It is also the last date to add cover and commercial print, March 31st, because the submissions are due on April 1st. Okay, I'm just looking at the questions. So for commercial print, next week, I believe, is the date that I'm going to be talking about commercial print and cover and what you kind of should submit for that. But on our Pinterest, if you still are very interested, on our website covers and shows the examples from last year of the winners of those competitions. But we've also started a Pinterest page with some examples of cover and commercial print photos. And if you compare the two, you can really see what the differences are. So the tax receipts for the sponsors. So we did provide an example PDF of a receipt that you could give your sponsor, and it shouldn't matter whether they're in Canada or the US, the sponsors, as long as they have that receipt from you. Yep, cool. You can definitely do multiple competitions. You can do cover, commercial print, any of the competitions. You can do all of them if you'd like. It's 2 minutes for the music, if that helps, Wayne. Sorry, I'm just going through the comments here. Okay. So again, April 1st, I'm just going to keep reiterating these dates so you have them. April 1st, cover, commercial print, self-tape, all due, as well as music for dance and music for singing and the commentaries for both of those. Okay, and those are all submitted through the contestant guide. But if you have any problems, you can just email us or give us a call. Okay. So May 1st is the next date that you want to be aware of. That is when TV film casting scripts are released on the contestant guide. So if you are in that competition, I suggest downloading that script right away, and then you can start practicing, and that gives you a lot of time before CMTC to learn all the lines. Yep, 2 minutes for the music. So for those that are in the singing and dance competition, whatever music you select, just make sure the timing is right, because we just press play. So if you want to start your music at a certain time, that's kind of up to you to figure out and edit your music down. And I know dancers are usually pretty familiar with this, but singers have to be aware as well. For singing preliminaries, there's no music, so it's just a cappella. But for the competition, you'll need your karaoke version or whatever you want to sing with. Okay. For the tax receipts, you just give them, you make yourself a copy just so you have a record. But for example, for the PDF copy that we gave, you could just write your receipt and give it to them, and then they would give it to their accountant or to whomever. Yep, of course, and there is a TV commercial competition this year. We actually already covered that one on a live, but there is definitely TV commercial competition this year. Okay. So May 1st, TV film casting scripts are released. Again, TV film casting is the one where we provide scripts, and TV commercial is the one where you make up your own commercial. And that live is posted on YouTube, and it's linked on our Facebook, and we did send an email about it as well. We haven't covered TV film casting yet, but we will. So we'll cover dance and singing at a different date, you guys, and I'll go over what the commentary needs. Yes, so if you, I'll get back to the dates in a second, but that's a great question. So even if you're not into acting, if you're more into modeling or singing or dance, we do suggest TV commercial for those who are even just interested in that and not so much in the acting, because as a model, sometimes you do book jobs where you're not only expected to do the print campaign, but you're also you're expected to do the TV commercial. So you need to be able to be comfortable in front of a moving camera. So TV commercial is a really great way to test that and get that experience. And yep, you can talk to the judges for sure. Cool. It's really about exposure. So if you want to get in front of certain judges, then TV commercial competition is a great place to go, because you're still getting that exposure and you can speak, and they're getting to hear your voice. So it's not just based off of your looks, they're getting to also speak to you and see how you perform. And again, TV commercial is a great start, because as an actor, this one, they don't have the script. So if you have to if you get nervous and mess up, then you can just kind of improv what you're saying, and the judges have no idea. So that's why we suggest for people who are kind of interested in acting or not really interested in modeling but want to test themselves, which we do encourage, then TV commercial is a great way to go. Thanks, Cole. So can we talk to them before the performance? So no, so because of the timing, we do ask that you go in, you perform if it's a TV commercial competition, and then if they have questions, they can talk to you. And you can approach the reps anytime you see them throughout the convention weekend, obviously within reason, but you can talk to them. And then callbacks especially, you can go in and have a conversation and give them your contact info. So we do suggest definitely approaching the reps and talking to them and asking them questions. So Emma, I would look at, some people decide to look at the wall that's behind the judges, but I would definitely make sure you're looking at the judges, or if you're not comfortable with that, just pick a spot on the wall and look at that while you're doing your performance. Yep, so we have commercial and acting, modeling judges. Sorry, I'm just reading a question. Yes, so a lot of our talent and some of our modeling agents are from LA for sure. We have people coming from all over the world for modeling, acting, and then singing and dance as well. And a lot of the LA reps are either looking for actors or models or those who can sing, dance. They're looking for really everything, the ones from LA. Okay. So I'm going to get back to the 9 dates and then I'll look at the questions in just a second. So again, May 1st, TV film casting scripts are released. If you're in that competition, I definitely suggest downloading the scripts as soon as they're released and starting to learn them and get comfortable with them. Okay, and then May 22nd. So this is the last day that you can reach out to our team through email, phone call, or the request to change form to add anything to your account. So adding visitor passes if we still have them, or adding guest awards tickets if we still have them, and adding competition. So May 22nd is the last day you can reach out, and that's just because our team is prepping the orientation packages, they're prepping your registration packages, and we are all moving our stuff to the host hotel. So just to keep things easy, that's the deadline for adding things kind of virtually or through the phone or through our contestant guide. And then after May 22nd, you just have to wait and add things at event check-in on June 3rd. So again, June 3rd is event check-in. That's when CMTC starts. If you are in dance or singing preliminaries, then you have an early check-in from 3 to 5. And if you aren't in singing or dance, then the regular check-in is 4 to 7. So make sure that you're aware of that. Okay, so I'm gonna look at some more questions. Are there specific clothes to wear? So if you're in runway, then they're specific, and if you're above the age of 12, then you do have to wear black, white, or a combination of both. Other than that, the competitions are pretty much, it's up to you. We have suggested, and I'll continue to suggest, just keep it simple. Jeans, leggings for girls, t-shirts, tanks, things that are very simple that aren't gonna retract from you and your personality and your talent and things like that. So you don't have to go crazy with wardrobe. And we do have a Pinterest page that we've started, and there's all the competitions are on there. So for cover and commercial print, they're just photos that are examples of what a cover photo looks like and what a commercial print photo looks like for our purposes for CMTC. And then there are also wardrobe suggestions for the different competitions. So I definitely suggest checking that out for packing and kind of packing info purposes. Yep, and sponsors can still give after March 1st. They just won't be in the program book. Exactly. Since when you are seeking the sponsors, all the money is going to you anyways. So you can definitely continue to seek them. They just won't be in the program book. Therefore, they can't write it off as an advertising. Chloe, yeah, so we would definitely suggest doing as many competitions as possible within reason. So obviously if you can't sing, for example, then we don't expect you to be in that competition, and you shouldn't be in that competition. However, like Jessica Lord says, and you probably saw in the seminar video her talking about this, she just tried everything because she wanted to push herself and she wanted to learn. And Nita Jose Hanna, another alumni, said the same thing. She came and she was only in a couple competitions, and after the first day she said, I want to give the rest a try and just push myself and see what I can do. And you'd be surprised, and you're getting the most out of your experience that way, and you're maximizing your exposure by doing more competitions. So the only ones that you wouldn't be able to add after certain dates are self-tape, cover, and commercial print, because those happen prior to CMTC. And then obviously for dancers and singers, we do suggest not waiting to add that because you want to be able to prepare. And again, you'd have to check in early on June 3rd. Thank you, Megan. Let me see, I'm looking for more. So being in the program book's important because this is what the reps will look for. Number one, it's one of their first looks at the models and talent that are there. They all look in the program book, and then if they see your number, then they're going to be marking in their program book who they're interested in. So it's actually where the reps often keep track of who they're interested in by circling photos in the program book. And if they don't know you and don't know your name and they just get a quick glimpse of your number, then at least that way they can look at the program book and find out who you are and find out more information, your name, for callbacks. Okay, just looking here. Hi, Nina. Thank you, Megan. I'm not sure what you mean by 2 categories, but we do our best to ensure that none of the competitions overlap, so that shouldn't be a problem for you. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you, Megan. So I'm just going to reiterate the dates one more time, just for anyone who's just joining. So March 1st is for anyone, a very important date for anyone that had selected a payment plan. It's also the same day that the sponsors are due. So if you want your sponsor to be in the program book, then you need to submit your sponsorship form. If you have more than 10 sponsors, then just do a new form and we'll make sure to cross-reference. And then March 2nd is when the price for the competitions changes. And again, that's just for planning purposes for us because we need to get our timing in order and see how many people are in each competition per division. March 15th, the self-tape scripts are going to be released. This is also the last day to add self-tape competition, is March 15th. April 1st, a big day. Cover photo is due, commercial print photo is due, your self-tape is due, and then for singers or dancers, your music as well as your commentary are due. And we will cover more about that when we do the live session on those competitions. Okay? And then May 1st is when the TV film scripts are released for that competition. So again, if you don't know if you're in any of these competitions, just look at your confirmation statement that you would have received as soon as you registered, or send us an email or give us a call. Okay? And then May 22nd is the last day you can reach out to our team through email, phone, or the requested change forms to add anything to your competition, to your account. So definitely make sure if you know you want to be in something to reach out to us by May 22nd, because after that you'll have to wait until event check-in, which is on June 3rd, 2020. Okay, and I should also mention March 1st is the last date you can exchange competitions. You can add after that, it's just the exchanging we can no longer do on your account. Okay, I'm just looking at the final comments here. Megan's answering all my questions. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty, well, Megan's answered almost all my questions. Thanks, Meg. So I'm going to sign off, but I hope everybody has a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you again next week. And check your emails on Friday. Anyone who is not receiving our emails, who is a contestant, please reach out to us, because we do send a lot of important information through email. But you will receive an email on Friday with kind of everything I covered, as well as a list of the competitions just to remind you. And then we will also post this live video on YouTube and link it on the email as well. Okay, so I'll see you all next week, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.